Hello out there, everyone in the internet. Welcome to Feedback. This is September 22nd, 2010, and we are welcoming you Japanese style. Konnichiwa. Mushi mushi.
I just want everything that yell at you when you walk into restaurants, and I'm like, why are you yelling at me? I'm hungry.
They do sound very insistent. Abby and I, of course, just got back from the Tokyo Game Show. Well, joining us here today, I'm Kevin Kelly. Adam Sessler is out in Chi-Town, I believe, doing some cool stuff.
I think they're going to England now.
They're going everywhere.
No,
they get all the fun stuff. But I'm here with Abby Happy, of course. Everyone, you know her. We have a newcomer today. JP Shub is joining us. Welcome, JP.
Thank you very much. I feel like I'm reliving my college radio days right now.
You even combed your hair.
That's right. I did not. How dare you say such slanderous things on my first day here.
He's wearing lip gloss, too.
That's normal, though.
I just naturally pretty, Abby.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm not. I'm wearing lip. No.
JP, thanks for joining us. And we also have Nicole Zivelich back again with us. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you for
Speaking of
having me.
not brushing your hair, but hey, it's fine.
I asked first.
I'm kidding. It looks fine.
Thank you.
Well, first off the bat,
We're going to
what do
start
we have?
with news. We've been out in Tokyo, obviously there to cover the Tokyo Game Show. A bunch of big announcements. Microsoft did the keynote for the conference, and they started by announcing Fire Pro Wrestling, Radiant Silvergun, Project Draco, Rise of the Nightmare, Haunt, Steel Battalion. They were mostly Kinect game, 2 arcade, 2 and 5 Kinect titles. Did you get a chance to check any of them out? Or at least see the press conference?
I saw the press conference. I checked out some of Radiant Silvergun. Steel Battalion, we just saw the trailer, which kind of looked like cutscenes. We don't know how it's going to play. Like, are they going to recreate that giant controller virtually with the Kinect? I kind of hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Well,
But otherwise, a lot of those weren't really played.
I hope they do, because I mean, I don't want to be like playing Monster Man in my living room with a mech. You know, it'd be cool if you're sitting there doing.
I
the
would rather
controls
see
and
you
things
do
like
the
that.
monster.
Yeah, I
Man
want to see
movie.
that too. That's
Just
what
for
that's where my money
comical
is.
value. Also, the Kinect has a camera, so it can take pictures, and which I got to see when I was playing some of the launch titles, the Kinect Adventures. Every time you jumped, and there was a picture of it. They're really making really great faces. I'm really excited for Rise of the Nightmare and for Haunt. I mean, they're just up my alley of weird, darker things.
Yeah, there was a lot of darker stuff at Tokyo. We saw Shadows of the Damned, another title.
Yes, from Suda51 and Shinji Mikami, the creator of No More Heroes, and then also Shinji Mikami's the combat director on the game. He worked on Resident Evil 4. So
I just like going on a romp through hell, directed by Suda51. I mean, come on, that's how can it get any better? That's on paper. That sounds pretty good to me. And the trailer I thought looked really cool too. Even though it's short,
No better place than TGS to announce projects working with Japanese developers, which is the entire slate of what Microsoft showed at the conference. That'll be interesting. There's some niche titles in here. It'll be interesting to see how they do, but it is also nice to see more hardcore-oriented titles coming out for it, because I think that's what at least all of us are waiting for.
Since you guys were there, were you guys surprised by the fact that I was really surprised at all the Kinect stuff? Because we haven't heard too much about Kinect recently, and then all of a sudden at TGS they announced the mech game and the horror game and all that stuff.
The more hardcore games.
Yeah. Not
that's that's exactly what I'm saying though. Is like, man, of course you wait for TGS because you're, as I said, working with a lot of Japanese developers, and frankly, this is the last game convention of the year. I'm so freaking happy about that. So happy. But I expected to see, and I didn't see, way more of The Last Guardian, like at least interviews, and we didn't do any, and I would have loved to, as I think we're all kind of eagerly anticipating that title. Although they did announce, and I know this is going to make everyone really happy, and because we've been talking about it for months, is that the Shadow of the Colossus and Eco HD set. So
Finally,
yay!
Rumor no more.
And I really hope people go out and buy it when it comes out, because I'd like to see more of this kind of action happening, with the HD remakes of games. And I feel like it's a neat bit of fan service that Sony, or at least is allowing to happen, like with the God of War collection.
It's a question I want to ask every time I interview someone now. I'm like, so the rest of your games, do you any plans to bring that to HD, bring it out for the I would love that. I mean, a little transition, but, EA also was one of the companies that announced a lot of big stuff, and they're, Alice Madness Returns is coming out. I'm like, well, would you plan on maybe re-releasing Alice?
It's been a long time.
It's been 10 years. It just makes so much sense for so many of the titles that we're seeing kind of make a resurgence.
Yeah,
and
you've
it
got
would
a
make
vault
me very
full of
happy.
money waiting to be made. It's just like, why don't you reap the benefits? I know it's expensive to kind of update these things, but...
Sure, but I honestly, there's some games that I would take probably a non-updated game. I shouldn't say that. I should go with the HD. That's what I want. I wouldn't play it any other way.
Well, Sly Cooper collection. That's
I'm going to play the hell out of that.
I can't wait for that one.
There's a rumored to be a Mortal Kombat HD collection in the
really?
works. I saw there was some rumors on the internets today, and
there's lots of rumors on the internets today.
there are.
We'll get to some of that.
They proved to be true with the Shadow and Ico collection, which is great.
Yeah.
Real quick, what's the one that you guys would love, your dream, besides now that the Shadow Colossus and Eco is announced? I have my personal one. I would love to see a Vagrant Story
Oh wow!
come back, because I loved that game and foolishly traded it in so I could get my PS2, which was really stupid, and I regret that and want that game back.
I want to see The Last Express, which was Jordan Mechner's other game. It was on the Orient Express. You're solving mysteries. It was all rotoscoped. It was beautiful. It was a CD-ROM project. You can't really even play it these days. I don't think there's no drivers to. There probably is something. I'm sure I'll get a comment about that. But it's a great game, and you can't play it now. And with his other titles, Prince of Persia and everything, he went off the tracks with his mystery game. It'd be cool to see something different.
I think it's like a total lost cause here, but I would love to see some Nintendo games in HD. I mean, I
Mario
know.
HD.
Yeah, well, first they'd have to get to HD in the first place.
Yeah, I know that Nintendo fans don't want that, which they've clarified that we don't want that. But I would love to see. Zelda in HD, that'd be beautiful.
It would be cool if they could figure out a way to do it. Sounds expensive though.
I'd like to see the Neverhood come back, but the nice thing about claymation is you don't actually need to visually upgrade anything that much.
Nope.
So, we can stay on the topic of EA. We saw Shadows of the Damned. I am fairly excited for that. That is the one that we were just discussing, so I won't speak too much more of it. We also haven't seen that much of it. The teaser trailer doesn't actually say as much about the game as maybe I'd like to know. I wanted to see some of that combat. But it looks creepy, and I like creepy things. It's true.
Yeah, you're journeying to hell to save your love.
Yes.
Basically, it's the entire logline.
Yeah.
Battling demons.
Like Dante's Inferno. Anyway. But we also checked out Dead Space 2 on the Move. Looked great. It honestly looked like it was easier to play on the Move controller than it was with the regular controller. We saw both of them playing together, which is one of the more exciting things that, I was really discovering at TGS this year, was that you'll be able to use the Move controller, with the regular PlayStation controller, and also with Kinect. You will be able to, games will be built to support using the controller and your hand, which means I can live my dream of doing the Minority Report menu thing. So exciting. So we saw Alice Madness Returns. I'm a super Lewis Carroll nerd, oddly enough, so I'm very excited about that. We saw Battlefield Bad Company 2, the Vietnam map pack expansion that's coming out, digital distribution later in the year. Or next, I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's this year. I believe it's later this year, yeah.
But, I like when games I enjoy get supported, so I know that you like Battlefield as well.
Fanatical. I'm super excited, and it's really cool. I like the fact that rather than just pushing out sequels and stuff, support the game I already paid money for, and I'll happily plunk down a smaller percentage to get extra maps and features. And in this case, a significant update. I saw new guns, 4 new maps.
Well, everything has to be, era-specific.
Right, but that's cool.
Yeah,
An existing game to do all that.
Maps, guns, but there's no more single-player content, which I was kind of disappointed by. Although they are adding 2 hours worth of era-specific, probably licensed music that'll be.
Yeah, I was kind of excited to hear them talk about how they were going to, do the music and voices and everything, change it, mix it up, make it really that era. I don't think I care if they do more single-player.
I think I'm with Abby on that one. I just kind of want just new maps to get murdered on and sniped on, which constantly happens to me, yet I still keep playing the game because it's awesome.
Well, I really liked Battlefield single player. I really liked the characters. Sweetwater was just one of my favorite characters in any game. So I really wish that, I'm happy that they're expanding the multiplayer with DLC, but I would, why not add on to the story mode if you can?
Yeah, it feels like that'd have to be a separate title, though, because of the era.
Yeah.
They'd have to be their ancestors.
Yeah, we're talking about Vietnam. You can't really tack that into a game that has nothing to do with that era in the first place.
They all have weird uncles that were in the Vietnam War.
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be really strange.
Yeah, flashback.
I'm having Vietnam flashbacks before. Okay, never mind. We've gotten completely ridiculous with
I
this.
see where you're going with this, and it's genius.
Yeah, we also got to see a little bit of what EA is working on for the 3DS. And then the rumors circulating around the internet now are that maybe that will have an earlier release date than any of us had thought. I have no idea. I have no inside information. I look at the internet.
What?
What?
There
oh
were
my
also,
God.
Marvel vs. Capcom got a big shot with 4 new characters kind of announced over
Yeah, two
Tokyo
that
Game Show.
we hit us on the way back. We had already done all of our Capcom and Marvel vs. Capcom 3 stuff, and then it was like, oh, wow, Spider-Man and Wesker. I wanted to see that.
Well, the G4 fans were like, the G4 viewers were really excited about this one. Like, everyone loves character announcements, and I got to ask some of them, like, what characters do they want to see in the game, and like the big characters are Leon Kennedy, Ada Wong, Blade, and Silver Surfer. Those were like the unanimous characters that they think this game needs.
Blade would be kind of cool. Silver Surfer, you can't really...
Everyone wanted it.
He surfs on that surfboard. You got to have vast expanses of space to carve through and stuff. Can't do that on that level.
If you could call it Galactus,
I don't know. They can do some pretty ridiculous stuff in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Galactus' hand comes and smashes, and that's it.
Yeah, and the others were X-23 and Tron Bonne. Just throwing that in there before we get too excited about Resident Evil characters.
Which makes you wonder, are they going to ever announce another Mega Man Legends title? It's like, Tron Bonne's in this game. We're so close to it. Mega Man Universe is not related to her, but it would be nice. Capcom loves to jerk us around.
You didn't get enough at TGS. You want more?
I want more.
All right, we're sending you back. No return ticket.
I'll go back.
But then again, Capcom also announced Steel Battalion Heavy Armor. That's one phrase. Steel Battalion Heavy Armor. Devil May Cry, or DMC, which is the Western reboot, not remake, reboot of the franchise. Asura's Wrath and Dead Rising 2 Case West. I am personally excited about DMC a lot.
Other people on the internet were not super impressed with the new look.
Would not agree with me at all. They did not like the new look.
The new emo look.
He looks like somebody disturbed him while listening to his hymn records.
What I'm excited to see them do in Devil May Cry is, and when I interviewed Ninja Theory guys about this is what they were talking about, was updating those sort of pop culture references within the game to something a little more identifiable, a little more modern. I like the idea of that. I'm excited to see what they do with it. And anyway, speaking of things that I can totally not understand and totally don't make sense to me, Kevin and I went to go check out Ni no Kuni, the Studio Ghibli game that was on the show floor, and not in English. And everybody next to me was doing really cool stuff, and it looked awesome, and I'm walking around town going, man, I really wish I could read kanji.
Yeah, but it looked beautiful while we were doing nothing. It looked beautiful.
It was very pretty while we were doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, seeing that trailer made me realize that we're finally in the era where you can literally play the cartoons. You know, like, remember, I don't know, when I first saw Toy Story, I was like, man, someday it would be cool if I could control that as a video game, or, you know, even this animation style of the Studio Ghibli stuff, and it's like, now you can control it.
And you can now, it's magic.
Yeah. It's amazing. And the PS3 version looks just like one of those cartoons that you are controlling.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know why I'm saying this. I'm just blown away by where it's all going.
Learn Japanese.
That's right.
Do you want to hear about the weirdest thing that we saw on the show floor?
Oh, yeah.
Is it the rape van? Is this where you get to
the rape van? There's no other way to describe it.
And there's no other way to describe it. I'm sorry, but there was, you know, the game that it was tied to was you were pretty much. You can explain it.
You're shooting girls with your pheromone love gun. And they're running towards you, and as you shoot them, it's...
I love this song by Kiss.
Pheromone Love Gun.
Oh, yes.
And you're stopping them, and they're collapsing on the ground in moans of ecstasy. And they're high school girls. You're in high school because there's lockers behind you and stuff.
Of course you are.
And it's extremely exploitive and just ridiculous. But I have to say, I played it at the Microsoft booth. The Microsoft booth, mind you. It was fun. This is a fun game. But their promotional...
was this van, and I guess, you know, you at a certain time during the day, the doors would open, and there were these two girls escorting each other with water guns.
Yeah, like one girl is
like a
in
totally
the van, like in her panties and bra, going,
like Dexter style, like everything.
It was very weird, and it was just,
that was an odd one.
But that's how the whole thing was kind of in your face in Japan, like with the sexuality like that. It's like it's okay to objectify young high school girls. It's weird. It's all over their culture there, and it was all over the Tokyo Game Show. Yeah. Titles like Idolmaster and Dream Club and
there was some weird stuff.
There's weird stuff. There was also, this is what really perplexed me the most. There was a almost reluctance to talk to American press about games that are not coming to North America.
Yes.
Abby and I, when we saw the Ni no Kuni game, we went to talk to the press desk, and they were just like, "Oh,
yeah. Oh, I don't even think we should give you this asset disc. Yeah, it's not coming out. Not for you."
And I played Taiko no Tetsujin Plus, which is an iPhone rhythm game. It's great fun. This could be ported in a day to the North American iPhone store, and they could make money off of it. When I asked them about assets, this is a Namco Bandai game. No, they were like, "Oh, we don't like to talk about games in other territories that aren't coming out there." I just cannot understand that. It's like money to be made. Why not?
Well, why can't they even talk about it? Like you think
I don't know.
Publicity.
It's like it doesn't
Just
exist.
baffling.
Are you going to dishonor it by talking about this game that you thought was really
I'm
cool?
dishonoring it now.
Yes.
I'm honoring this game. I want people to find out about this game.
Do you guys really think that Studio Ghibli game won't come out here?
I don't.
I honestly, I don't know.
I don't know. The
I
DS
feel like
version,
that's
by
one
the
of those
way.
games
You feel
that
like you
will.
could sell it just because that name still has, some sort
Absolutely.
of
I mean, with the theatrical
meaning here.
releases and with the celebrity
Absolutely.
voices they get,
It would make money. And the DS version comes with this really cool hardbound book with a gem set in the front, and you have to have it to play through the DS version. It's like helps you solve the puzzles and everything.
I play video games so I don't have to read.
Yeah.
Wait a
Audiences
second.
love
You're gonna have
books.
to start.
That's right.
You're gonna read
Ooh,
subtitles
a book
now.
in a game. Perfect.
I just honestly wish
homework.
that there was more at TGS this year. The booth space, everything looked a little bit smaller from last year, and you still have Microsoft, EA, Capcom, making pretty decent announcements, but like you can't help but go like, where's Nintendo?
Yeah.
Like
Nintendo,
where are
of course,
they?
does
I
not
think they're
take
just
part
like
in this.
too big for it there. Or so, I don't know.
But hopefully you
They
did
would-
get the ramen that's below the game
Oh
show.
man, I did. It's so
It's-
good. I ate the
there's
best
the hidden
food
ramen
the whole
joint
time.
in the
We
TGS
took him there.
yeah.
It took
It was
took him till the
delicious.
last day to find it.
Not only
'cause
did
it's
we
so
have
hidden away.
ramen, but every day Abby had a new hairstyle.
Yeah. Oh
You'll
god,
have to see the
it's kind
footage.
of ridiculous.
It's awesome. Her hair was amazing every day. Well, that kind of kills Tokyo for us.
Yeah.
We'll have much more online. You can.
Well, yeah,
check out
everybody can go
previews and
see all the
everything.
trailers, all the previews, all the interviews, everything else that you can possibly
More
imagine
every
from the
day.
show
Yep.
on
We
G4TV.com.
got stuff coming up on X-Play over the next couple weeks.
Good
And
movie.
kills Tokyo. Such harsh wording, Kevin.
I know I'm being very Godzilla with that.
That's
whole
right.
thing.
Oh, jeez.
Gojira.
All right.
Better.
Our second news story is actually kind of sad. I mean, really sad, actually, is that APB has shut down completely. It no longer exists. It is no more.
Very sad.
If any of you bought it or remember, that game came out on June 29th.
Yeah,
And-
just 2 months ago, really. I mean,
I feel bad
Yeah.
for the people who bought it. That's
All 12 of them.
Oh.
They're really, oh,
Brum.
too soon?
too soon for
But
those
it
12
was
people.
not reviewed highly. I mean, I think even when we had been seeing it, before the launch, there was a very impressive customization element to everything, but
Yeah.
it's very difficult to sell a game on mainly customization. And
Didn't it have some kind of nickel and dime aspect to it as
There
well?
were there was
with the
game time. You had to
microtransactions.
purchase game time.
Yeah.
They originally said free to play. Everyone was excited, and then game time you had to purchase, which
Yeah.
was kind of unfortunate. But yeah, the customization
and why were we
was
all
amazing.
excited about APB originally? Maybe before we saw too much of it.
Well, it was made by the Crackdown guys.
Yes.
So
And the Grand Theft Auto, the original Grand Theft Auto guys, who this was the game he wanted it to be, like the sequels, and they're just. I felt like they didn't have an overarching story. It's like this sandbox game, but then you're just thrown into it, and it seems like things are going to devolve pretty quickly into not much fun. But I don't think that was the problem. It was just financial. They couldn't keep this. There were plenty of people who enjoyed the game.
Were there?
my big
Well,
reviews
problem,
are
there were people
pretty
who enjoyed the game.
negative.
my big problem with it is I really wish they had made it Crackdown. I just wish they had kept with the series because so far my disappointment of the year so far is Crackdown 2, and I know that might not be a popular opinion, might be, I don't know, but for me it was.
Well, I mean, I probably enjoyed it a little bit more than you, but I have no illusions that there was, Crackdown 1.5, and I enjoy jumping around the city and collecting orbs, and
I
it's
love
just
super
only
punching
fulfilling
zombies,
that base.
but
Yeah,
I would have liked to have done something else too.
Sure. You want it to be more.
Yeah, I mean, getting scolded by the agency commander guy is fun and everything, but I would have liked a little bit of a story or something, some kind of goal other than the
Absolutely
achievement
understood, and
hoard.
I
Yeah.
honestly won't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I like the third bit or the second bit of MMO news, which is that EVE Online gets looted again. I think.
Yeah, and it's.
I'm
and
sorry,
it's,
but every time there's like a big do you remember there was a story like a year or two ago where somebody had managed to like undermine one of the largest corporations in the game and make off with like a ton of cash? I think that it's absolutely hilarious.
This story is rad though, man. The guy like planned it over like a couple of years or something.
But that's the thing is they're like real Ocean's 11 heists. They take thought and skill. It is so impressive and it is so funny when it happens. I mean, very sad for everybody involved.
and what's cool though is that the developers are like, "Hey, we designed this to be a bad place.
It's cold and
It's-
dark.
Stuff like this is going to happen, and
Exactly.
it did happen. It's like
I love
Bernie
that.
Madoff in the enters
What
the
did you
online
think
realm.
was going to happen? Sucks for you.
It
Well,
does.
what does he do with all that fake money?
I think he can only use it for in-game
Yeah, he
time.
can. And he can somehow buy infinite amount of time on EVE Online, but
Yeah.
like he really can't do anything
He got something
else.
like $850 million dollars. It translates to about 45,000 real U.S. dollars.
If he could actually translate.
Right. But I guess if you added playtime to what you get, ISK or whatever the in-game currency
or
is.
something.
EVE's like the most fascinating game that I have no real idea how it's played.
I don't either. And it's at every game show. There's a big EVE Online booth. And
it has a really hardcore, rabid, following.
Apparently.
And I've no desire to play it, but I still lurk EVE news because when something really awesome goes down in the game, it's really awesome.
Yeah, stuff like this makes me go, man, I should be playing that game. I just like the fact that people are able to simulate this stuff rather than do it in real life.
That's true. But maybe it's just preparing him.
Right, training.
For the boardroom.
I like the idea that in jail, all Bernie Madoff would play would be EVE Online.
Yeah.
And that he would somehow become like the head of like every corporation in the game or something fantastic.
Then we have to throw him into Second Life jail while he's in real jail. His virtual avatar is in fake jail.
Yep.
It's very meta.
Way too meta. Okay.
Speaking of meta, it doesn't even
No, not even speaking of meta. But there was new BioShock Infinite gameplay video that was released, and it's exclusively on Xbox.com and Xbox Live, so we can't have it. Oh, wait, it's Wednesday.
Yeah, by the time you're listening to this, you'll be able to watch it on
It's
G4.
on YouTube.
10 minutes of
I'm
pure
just kidding.
joy.
This is the present.
We're in the future now.
Oh, we were in the future last week when we were in
That's
Tokyo.
right, in Tokyo. But then we came back to the
Now
past.
we're back in the past. I don't understand how
Yeah,
this
they
is all
gave us our
working.
day back.
But you're back in the past with green tea Kit Kats now.
No, everybody ate all of them already.
Oh, I
That
brought a
was
whole bunch
I
of
brought back-
wasabi.
yeah.
I brought wasabi and soy sauce flavored Kit Kats back.
That's gross.
Yeah,
gotta
I
try
brought
them.
back some
Until you
weird
eat
ones
them,
last
and
year.
they're good.
No, they weren't.
No. The carrots and green apple are the worst of
Yeah,
all
that was
time.
disgusting.
Carrot flavored
Together?
Kit Kat.
Worst of all
I
time.
hope they're separate.
We were guessing by the pictures on the packaging, but it was pretty dismal.
Well, BioShock, have you guys seen the BioShock
I did.
footage?
I just
It's
watched it.
delicious.
It's pretty, not as delicious as a soy sauce Kit Kat, but it's pretty jaw-dropping. I mean, it's what we saw in Germany, but it's a little slower. They take a little time to look at the scenery and
Read all the signs.
yeah.
and-
But this game's not going to be out until 2012.
I don't care. They can
Yeah.
keep dropping that footage.
They can
and I will
take as
continue
much
to,
time as
you
they
know,
want with it
drool
because
Yeah, I
over
hope
this
it.
is
I
one
hope they
game
do.
I think
that
it's
needs to be
cruel.
good.
Stop teasing us for 2 years.
Yeah, it's well, you're gonna have to get used
It'll
to it.
be there
'cause I
before
see
you
only
even
more
know it.
coming.
Yeah, it's not like I don't have other games to play in the meantime.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big titles coming up that I'm pretty stoked about.
JP, you are doing nothing but playing Halo Reach.
And I'm doing
we all
nothing but
know
playing
that.
Halo Reach too.
Well, speaking of, it's our game of the week.
It is our game of the week. Halo Reach. It's a big game. It made 200 million on opening day. It's been climbing up the charts. Everyone's playing this. People are having some problems. There's been the 4 gigabyte new Xboxes will not play this online because it requires a hard drive to multiplay some of the stuff.
Which is expected. Like
It's
no one
expected.
can be
Yeah, that's
surprised
not a
by
shocker.
that.
But what is shocking is that the launch Xbox 360s with the 20 gigabyte hard drive have been having a lot of problem playing this. Some people have been unable to play. Period.
But I think it's a lot more a few people who are complaining very loudly,
Right.
versus a lot of people being affected by this.
Yeah. I
Well,
just
you're also
mentioned it
your
'cause it's out
install
there.
base is so much bigger than almost any other game on the market right now that you're guaranteed to have more people with more problems.
Yeah. Have we-
Personally,
so
the only issues I'm having with the game is just the number of quitters. You know,
Yeah.
and I know they put in measures to discourage that, but I
It's
feel
not
like
working.
every other match I'm playing in Team Slayer, there's at least 1 or 2 people quitting out. And
It
it's
doesn't
like-
work. I mean, most people know that you're going to be punished. That you're going to be punished for it anyway.
Yeah.
And so it's
They'll still
just
quit.
no, never mind. Quitting. Don't
what are
care.
the measures? Does it times you out from rejoining a game for a short period of time, or
I wouldn't know since I haven't quit a game early, but
That's right.
I'm
Time to start
hoping it's
quitting.
something that's right.
JP quitter?
Does it take away XP?
Again, I don't know, but
upgrade?
Now, see if it
I
now
hope
if it
so.
just knocked you back to 0, I think nobody.
That's
would
right.
Yeah,
do it
that would be
again.
actually something they should think of. But then, like, there's always the person who accidentally gets knocked offline.
Yeah,
as well.
but I'm the person whose like internet connection gets like disconnected or something
Right.
drops because AT&T blows.
Okay, so issues aside, do we like the game? Abby?
Yeah,
What do
I
you
mean,
think?
honestly, I didn't care for ODST as much. I've been having a lot of fun with this. Although, thanks to being in Tokyo for the past week, I have just gotten to the end of it, and I haven't had nearly as much time as I would have liked to spend with the multiplayer at this point. However, I love the enemy AI. It's pretty awesome. If Matt Kyle and I were trading stories, and in one of his, they took his warthog. Or not took it, but they grabbed the warthog and he moved over so they couldn't hit him. And one of the guys got on the turret and the guy drove over and found the angle where they could hit Matt from there, which I think is awesome. I like anything that
Smart.
sort of presents a challenge in in a shooter. As far as your team AI goes, they're hit or miss. I've only
Team AI is
the
fairly
further I-
smart.
Mostly miss,
they're
exactly.
fairly
They cannot drive.
They've had some. Oh yes, they've driven me into some. Are you kidding me?
They're
Like,
terrible. They're terrible.
But
The
I'm glad
three-point
to. But I
turn
am
get
glad
around
to see
something.
them doing something. More complex than I think we see teammates in shooters do. Because I can only imagine that is extremely hard to program. I mean, even when you're playing Left 4 Dead, like the other teammates aren't using the projectiles. There's certain things that your friendly AI in games doesn't do that you can do. And I've been impressed by the fact that they use my shields when I throw them up, that they are in many ways doing a good job.
Yeah, they use their own armor abilities. Like Kat has armor lock, and I dropped a grenade accidentally right by both of us while I'm peeling backwards to get away from it. She just armor locks to guard herself from the blast. Pretty smart. So why can't they drive?
Especially for Kat, because she was the worst driver of anyone.
Yeah, she's pretty
and
bad.
she would get in the vehicle before I got there and take off.
It's that bionic arm.
It does.
It
hurts her.
It's bad.
It hurt her in the end.
JP?
Well,
What's your verdict?
I'm a total fanboy for Halo, and this one definitely lived up to all my expectations for it, and I love it, warts and all, warthogs and all.
Zing.
The AI with the driving, it's been in all the Halo games, so you kind of expect it. And I actually enjoy driving the vehicle, so I don't mind hopping over there.
Yeah, but the rocket hog is so cool. You want to fire that thing.
That's why I try to park that sucker up somewhere where I can just drop the bombs.
Yeah,
You don't have to
that's
worry
what I've
about
been doing.
somebody getting
Yeah.
in to drive you away.
I don't mind that. Or and the co-op modes in the campaign are fantastic. The multiplayer, there's something about Halo multiplayer that keeps dragging me back. I love COD and all those kind of games, but I don't know. Halo feels like home. Like just I love the jumping and the melee, and just there's something about it that feels less serious to me, I guess, than the Call of Duty games. Like when I play Call of Duty,
definitely agree with that. Sure.
like I can relax and play Halo, and for me it's just fun and stuff. Whereas when I play Call of Duty, I get like super competitive really quick.
And you're hyperventilating.
Yeah.
Okay, I
actually
know
a
I'm going
pretty
to get
good
sniped if I
point.
look out of this corner.
And this one, like, I can literally sit and play 8 hours and just chill and enjoy just being a super soldier, you know?
I
You
just
said
wish
you
people
like-
would vote for the map I want to play.
SWAT.
Yeah.
Vote SWAT.
They always want SWAT. I don't love SWAT.
Really? I think it's because I played so much COD, and I was telling Abby
You've
this,
gotten
that
good at
she
it.
crushes at SWAT because it's
Headshot.
closer to that style of gameplay. Also, on the other point, just my problem with people quitting on a multiplayer, I wish they had an unlockable dunce cap or scarlet letter or mark of or something. So the guys
Spartan's
who
a whore.
guys who quit out of matches a bunch of time, you're tagged. Like I can visually see that you're a numbnuts,
That you're a
and
quitter.
I'm gonna just go after you the whole match.
And you think with a high level of customization that Halo Reach has, they could work that in.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we're gonna ask for that for DLC.
Yeah, there should
Please,
be
let's
some
do
DLC.
it. Anybody
Which is
at Bungie,
interesting.
my one wish for Christmas.
Bungie keeps saying they're not talking about DLC, which leads me to believe they are going to support DLC for this title. This is their
They
goodbye to
abso-
the series.
I think they absolutely are.
Yeah, they definitely need to.
Well, I mean, spoiler alert, June didn't die. Like, Jun, I think A266, I don't know, it's J-U-N.
The
his name.
sniper.
Yeah, he didn't die. And
Didn't everyone die though?
no, he didn't die. And he was with the scientist lady, and he never had a dramatic cutscene where he was killed. And I think that's going to be just...
Maybe.
That's not an accident. That's
I bet
gonna be
people are
DLC.
cursing Nicole's name right now for revealing
No, I'm sorry.
this. Well, you did say spoiler alert. I guess you.
It's an 8-hour
cushioned yourself.
campaign. You
Well, what
beat
do
it
you
by
what do you
now.
think about the game? You've been playing it a lot as well.
I love it. I mean, I've always been a Halo fan. I think Halo 3 is probably my favorite Halo, and I definitely see how this one lacks some of the humor of Halo 3, which I get because Halo 3 is the happy Return of the Jedi of the series, and this is obviously a much more
Wait, there was
somber-
Ewoks in Halo 3?
You didn't see them.
No, I missed that.
Well, there are
Furry
the little
grunts.
shuffly guys, the furry grunts.
Oh, that's true.
Which and that enemy design to me still supports that it needs that sense of humor to it, just like you point out in the multiplayer that it's not the where you sit there and you're like, oh god, this is so stressful because you've seen me play video games and I'm a stress case.
No.
No, I'm a nice person, JP. Tell everyone.
Snapping controllers in half.
Well, I miss when the brutes or whatever would yell, you killed my mate, and like things like that, just little things that I definitely miss. But that's campaign. Multiplayer's great. Matchmaking's great. People have been saying there were glitches with this game. I haven't experienced any. I mean, unless there's like a patch to get rid of 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
the one thing that I've noticed, and I honestly wasn't able to kind of tell whether it was a technical error or not, is the checkpointing system is very strange. I have been in areas trying to progress through, and and sometimes I'll die and then I'll take pretty much the exact same path around. And at some point, as I'm taking the exact same path around, it'll checkpoint me, whereas it didn't before. And I found all these kind of inconsistencies with how everything in the game is checkpointed.
Halo's always kind of had a checkpoint.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's because the AI has killed a certain number of guys.
Yeah, or whether it's
sometimes when you're running around, I'll see it, and then I realize that my teammates had already killed some people.
I know
that
wasn't the case in several times where I found it.
Oh, really?
That they needed to die. The other thing is
because I didn't kill anybody, I ran through the room without killing anybody with my jetpack.
That's how you play it hardcore style.
Yeah.
Well, you're all part of a team now. When you play Halo Reach, you're part of Noble Team. Do we miss Master Chief? Are we fine with this new story with the new Spartans?
Me, not at all. I was super excited to see another part of this universe and get a new story because it's like Master Chief has had his reign of like 8 years or however long it's been since the first Halo, and it's cool to see more parts of this universe instead of just the typical Cortana Master Chief.
And as the hero, he's not going to die. You're not that worried about,
right.
Keanu Reeves in The Matrix Reloaded because you're like, oh, there's going to be a third movie, so I know he's not going to die.
Also, on the first Xbox, they didn't have the technology to support like this huge cast of characters like they do now, and so you're playing in a different era of games, so it makes sense. Let's introduce a new set of guys and finish it out that way.
Is there anything you guys found yourselves wanting in this game? I mean, there's only one level of space combat. We don't leave Reach at all.
I think they perfectly timed those levels, like the space level and the helicopter stuff. Like it felt like just the right amount of time. I think any longer than that, and I would have been starting to get frustrated and get me back to the guns I like. And because I really do love a lot of the weaponry in Halo, it is fun to use.
Yeah,
I agree. To me, that's the best part about the Halo games is the pacing of the vehicle levels because you get a taste of them, but not enough to make you sick of eating the meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that space combat level, by the time you landed on the ship, I was done with it. Yeah. It was fun.
I was
it's just
done with
long
it
enough.
In a that was great.
Exactly.
I wanted more, but not that much more.
The only thing I wanted was the Falcon that you fly in the campaign has that awesome front-mounted gun.
Yes.
You don't have that in the multiplayer. It's not there. The gun is just gone. You do have two side-mounted gunners.
Well, there's a concern about balance in multiplayer.
Sure, but I want to be unbalanced. To just be like, oh, we got to the Falcon first. Screw you guys.
One thing of fan service in there that I really enjoy was seeing the Halo 2 multiplayer map hidden in that Falcon level.
Yeah.
When I was running through, I was like, oh, man, this is the map from 2, and then I discovered it was in the multiplayer, and that was always my favorite map. And the reskin looks amazing.
A lot of new maps that are old maps actually in this, you know, or remakes of like Lockout and Blackout. We have now Cage, which is kind of a, it's a akin to those maps. We have Blood Gulch is back as Hemorrhage, which is a real fan favorite. Everyone loves
Pinnacle.
That. Pinnacle is back.
And then there was a Zealot, which was a remake
Midship,
of Midship. Yeah,
that one has the low gravity if you get up above the level too. You said you love jumping, so if you get up above that blue sort of shield,
I love jumping to make up for my total lack of accuracy when under pressure situations.
That also makes you a big target, though, if you're
Yes.
jumping up there.
Grenades.
What do we imagine is going to come in the form of DLC? Just new maps? Is that going to be it?
Well, that's the easy. That's
Forge
the easy
tools.
one.
I bet Forge tools will be one of the first things.
More
More
objects to drop in.
customizations for the armory, which is pointless. But I spent like 6 hours making my dude perfect. He's perfect.
Has anyone unlocked
Until they come out with the new headlamp.
anyone unlocked the armor effects? Those are kind of expensive.
They're expensive, yeah. But the birthday effect or whatever would add the humor that I thought it was missing. But it's too expensive.
I want the cool electricity. I mean, they don't add anything to the game. Like, you don't get benefits from it. You
giggles.
just look cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I want that cool electrical.
Looking cool is worth it sometimes.
Yeah,
I expected to see more of those ways that I was unlocking credits and everything in the single player. I just like on a quick, easier to find menu, like I can hit back and there's everything that I need to do or fulfill. What? I don't have nothing.
No. I had the same problem. I was trying to customize my dude and I couldn't find a menu to do it, and I realized I had to hit the start button and dig it up out of that menu.
Go in there.
Yeah.
Did you guys find any of the new weapons to be particularly something
the
you
DMR.
love?
I love it.
DMR.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot more accurate.
Yeah, the metal
I do.
Image
I use it a
battle
lot
rifle.
too.
And it's great in is it SWAT?
Yes.
I'm pretty good at it, so I like it.
The grenade launcher is kind of cool. I'd only discovered recently into the game that you can hold down the trigger, and as you fire out that grenade, it won't explode until you let go of that trigger. It's awesome. You can set a little. Somebody's going to come around a corner at some point, and you just.
I love the plasma launcher too. That's a satisfying feeling when you get somebody lined up and you hit them with 4 plasma grenades.
Or especially for vehicles, perfect for those.
Yes,
totally.
You can totally nail them and just kill everybody. It was nice to see that you can now shoot grenades as well. Have you noticed if you zero in on a grenade, a frag or a plasma grenade, you can shoot it and it'll explode.
It has to be a scoped weapon.
I was like, I so never have the time to do that. I'm like, oh crap.
I will never pull this off, but it's awesome to know that's in the game.
Well, it's great when you see a bunch of guys die in one area. Just scope the ground. There's definitely going to be grenades there, and you wait until more guys come along and shoot one of those grenades.
Yes, but see, I'm the one who's going to turn the gun up and shoot it as it's coming towards my face and then blow myself up.
You can explode a grenade on the ground while it's there.
It has to be a scoped weapon though, like the Magnum sniper rifle. It has to be something you can zoom in on, and then the DMR.
That's awesome. When I'm playing tonight and people are wondering why I keep getting melee from behind, it's because I'm going to be trying to shoot grenades on the floor.
There's your pro tip.
JP, you want to play later?
Yes.
Well, okay.
She's going to be like, I'm not going near any grenades.
Yeah.
Well, I had a problem
Get all my
with,
assassination kills.
Well, I was just going to say, I have a problem with assassinations because the animation's too long. So by the time you dramatically kill them,
you know
someone's killed you already.
Yeah.
But see, I like the assassinations because I feel like it has removed a good chunk of the teabagging.
That still goes
Too bad
on.
there's no teabagging animation though.
But now
That
there's
just
airbagging with jetpacks.
Yeah,
so
airbagging, which is cool. And there's the achievement for killing someone in midair that was trying to kill you
without dying from a cliff, and then you can't take damage or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. There's some crazy achievements in there, which people love their achievements.
Nothing wrong with it.
But
we're not here to judge.
Well, we seem to like it.
As she says, with a twitch in her eye.
Yeah, she's probably playing it on last night. We're going to be playing multiplayer, I guess, for a while. It feels like there's a lot of options, variety. Feels like you could play for a week straight and not play the same game at the same time.
I like the weekly challenges too. I know over the weekend there was one of like get the 125 kills or the daily challenges and stuff. And
those are so smart.
I literally couldn't stop playing until I was like, I have to get that one.
It was a cool idea.
They're fantastic. Every game should be doing them. I mean, part of the reason I went back to Left 4 Dead as much as I have been is because they were doing the weekly challenges.
Well, I still think Left 4 Dead's doing the best multiplayer thing of them all, which is totally changing the game types. Like the health pack one that they just came out with is awesome, and I hope
but again, it's providing that weekly
that.
incentive to to come back and to play more, which is which is what the developers had spoken about with Halo Reach. And especially for older gamers who don't necessarily have the time to play every single day. And how do you keep them returning to the game and encouraging them to play more? I think they've hit that.
I think the coolest thing with Halo is the beta. I wish that every major multiplayer game would have a big beta like this. To give everybody a taste of the game that's coming, but also because I think they fixed a ton of stuff.
They nerfed the grenades a bit for sure.
They help with the grenades and the timing and the melees, and also the levels all got a polish. Sword base looks a lot different now in the finished version.
Yeah, there's battle damage everywhere.
Exactly. That wasn't in the beta. It was pristine in the beta. And plus, it got me really excited for the game, get me hooked on it.
Plus, they have such a hardcore and fantastic community. Use it.
Absolutely. And use it months in advance so that you have the time to implement
time to make all of those tweaks and implement it.
Very cool. So, thumbs up all around. Halo Reach. Hopefully, if you haven't played it out there, you're going to get it soon, and you'll see why we're all addicted to it. We're going to move on to our question of the week, which this week is from Crawl85. And this ties in back to our Tokyo Game Show experience. In a recent interview with Kenji Inafune, the father of Mega Man, and he's also the head of global R&D at Capcom, stated that Japanese developers are very hesitant to experiment with games and move away from the traditional Japanese gameplay structure, and this is kind of causing problems why Japan is lagging behind. He went on to admit that Capcom is at least 5 years behind, even with games like Dead Rising 2, which was specifically made to cater to audiences outside of Japan. The Japanese game market in the West has been shrinking greatly due to their resistance in what gamers in markets outside of Japan are wanting. So his question is, do you agree with Inafune, and do you see Japanese developers changing anytime soon, or do you see them simply giving up on the Western market and playing it safe as the demands of gamers outside of Japan continue to leave their own comfort zone?
Well, how neatly this ties into our very first news story of the day. Doesn't it? Well, I mean, on one hand, you have Capcom that's, giving a lot of their Eastern franchises to Western developers. And then you have Microsoft coming out really strong at the Tokyo Game Show and throwing all their support behind Japanese developers. Mm-hmm. And you have to wonder who's making the smarter option. Like, clearly Microsoft, I mean, the real end, Microsoft needs to sell games in Japan. Yeah. I mean, they just, even consoles, when they've outsold the PS3, that's like a rare, like, oh, they did it, they're just not the biggest sell there. As soon as you walk into Akihabara and you go to, any game store there. Mm-hmm. So,
and we had a weird experience. We walked past the Halo Reach setup
and there was
area.
Nobody playing it.
I mean, over here, those lines would be, 10 deep.
It was the same thing with Modern Warfare 2 at last year's TGS in the Square Enix booth. it was totally empty lines.
Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops, same thing. They had a theater set up and nobody was attending to listen to it. So,
I mean, I hate to say that the answer is almost a wait and see. You know, like let's see what some of these titles coming out. I mean, there's an audience for a lot of Japanese games, and Final Fantasy probably being the big one there. And if you're JP, it's Kingdom Hearts.
I'm unashamed of my passion for the Kingdom Hearts games.
I love Kingdom Hearts.
just don't say Kingdom Hearts 3.
Finally.
Our audience is going to
Yeah, I know, right?
Again.
But I think that they well. We'll see how Dead Rising comes out. We'll see how the scope of the games that Microsoft announced at TGS come out, and how everything ends up working out for
It feels
Capcom.
in some way though that it's already starting to slowly shift. We saw Gun Loco, which is obviously Western influenced shooter, and it's they've got thrown some new mechanics in there, but it's definitely. It feels like an American-style game, North American.
I mean, when's the last time you went to a video game conference and the biggest line and the longest wait was for Monster Hunter Tri Portable?
Monster Hunter 3 Portable, which is a port of the Wii version that had already come out recently. That line was massive.
You
the
would have
entire
waited 2
show.
days.
It was the
see
entire show.
our
It was
cameraman Paul over there rolling his eyes at Monster Hunter Tree.
It was shocking how popular it was. And there was a 2-hour line for GT5. Now, I know that game's not out, but just the fact that people wait 2 hours to play these games, it's pretty impressive.
Well, remember when the Wii came out and the line at E3 was 6 hours long?
Totally amazing.
My thought on this is I like the idea of them tailoring their games to a wider audience, but I don't want them to lose the Japanese flavor to them. Like they shouldn't sell out entirely and lose what they are, because I think I like some of these Japanese games.
There's a reason they're popular.
Yeah, I don't need the same grinding turn-based map-making RPG 100 times over with the whiny, emo-looking dude as the main guy. I'd like to see some updates there, but I don't want to totally see games like Shadow of the Colossus or things that are very Japanese go away. I don't think they should go too far.
I don't think it's even a question of them going too far. Like, I don't think they're going to abandon any of their RPG or emo haircut roots.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna stay the same. But
at least not in Kingdom Hearts, I hope.
But there's a ton of money with the Western audience. There's no question of whether or not they're going to try to appeal to that. They want the money. I mean, they can't exist without profit. The Western audiences are huge, and there's a lot of money to be made there, so they're absolutely going to do whatever they can to appeal to them. And the Japanese audience. They're not going to alienate anybody.
But do you think that if they go too far to the West, do you think that Western audiences are going to... Do you think they'll actually be able to capture like what the American games are? Like, I can't see a Call of Duty coming out of the Japanese studios, as it is.
I don't know. I could probably see that. I could not Call of Duty, obviously, but something along those lines. I think definitely. I mean, I think we're definitely going to see that more than we're going to see, Western-made
shooters this year.
Western-made
Vanquish
Eastern
is-
games.
Yeah, because like even Dead Rising, which is very supposed to be very Western, has a lot of Japanese stuff in it. You know what I mean?
Highly influenced. Long load screens.
Like samurai
Definitely
swords you can kill
Japanese
zombies
influence.
with.
Exactly.
No, that was the other thing they announced was the Case West, which is, I guess,
Return to Frank West.
Yeah, the two guides are going to meet up and battle zombies together. So they're really
beautiful.
milking this title. They've got 3 titles basically
That's
out
weird.
of Dead Rising 2.
Capcom
It's
milking
amazing.
a franchise?
I know,
That's
it's shocking, right?
That's bizarre.
Well,
Never heard of it.
the second it stops working for them, I can see it. Them not doing it. But right now, the Case Zero sold how many copies?
Broke records.
Broke records.
Yeah.
Very popular. Yeah. So we'll wait and see. I think Abby has it exactly right. We're going to have to wait and see probably till maybe the next couple of Tokyo Game Shows to see where the developers start to go.
That for me, it's kind of give games the cycle in this to come out, and then we'll
especially
see
with
in a
the
couple
move,
years.
especially with the motion support coming and seeing what
Well,
Japanese
and the
developers give
3DS.
us. All right.
Yeah.
That's true. 3DS around the corner. So, anyways, that's feedback for this week. We hope you guys enjoyed it. And be sure to tune into G4TV.com where you can catch everything else and watch us on XPlay as well every Wednesday on G4.
Frank, show my shoes. They're awesome. I got these in Japan.
She loves her shoes.
I love shoes.
I have dog socks.
Suda51 loved her shoes.
Yeah, Suda51 and I compared shoes because he had really freaking awesome gold shoes on and I had crazy heels.
Now we need some G4 shoes.
Yeah, and we express our mutual love of each other's shoes.
These shoes rule.
Feedback to
Yep.
bringing you shoe news for the last 10 years.
Every week it's going to be
Last
new shoe
3
news.
minutes.
Sneakerheads.
Hello there, I'm Adam Sessler, host of XPlay, editor-in-chief at G4TV.com. I talk a lot about video games, and sometimes a camera is in front of me when I'm doing that. We call that Sessler's Soapbox. It takes about 2 minutes of your time, but trust me, you will hear invective and joy, and probably a lot of rude things like you've never heard before in the context of video games. I do it for you, so so you should check it out. It's up every Tuesday on G4TV.com.